Join me as we uncover the ways AI can enhance your career and life. There's a big shift happening in the modern workplace, and AI is at the forefront of this exciting transformation. Just as the internet forever changed the way we approach everyday tasks, AI has the potential to transform the way we work and live. AI stands for artificial intelligence. It's a practical solution for making routine tasks less time consuming. Learning to use AI effectively in your job can help you to accomplish your goals and set you up for success in the evolving work landscape. For example, consider a typical day at your work. If it's anything like mine, you have a lot of tasks to complete. Some days your to-do list might seem never ending. But what if AI could help? For instance, instead of spending hours reviewing spreadsheets, AI can help you analyze the information in seconds. It can also draft a detailed sales report highlighting key insights to share with your team. AI can schedule meetings for you, create engaging presentations, enhance your brainstorming sessions, and take on a variety of other tasks that will shorten your to-do list. Whether you're curious to learn the basics of AI, interested in making routine tasks easier, or focused on enhancing your skill set, we've designed Google AI Essentials to help. Hi, my name is Maya, and I'm the Vice President of Strategy and Operations at Google Research. In my role, I lead a team that helps Google achieve its mission by accelerating research and fostering an exceptional research environment. I'm thrilled to be your guide on this journey to explore this technology that's reshaping the business world, AI. Throughout the course, you'll have the opportunity to learn from a diverse group of AI experts at Google, whose roles span from program management to directors of AI products and services. They'll each share their insights into AI and how it can elevate your work and advance your career. Google AI Essentials is designed to fit your schedule. You can complete it at your own pace, all online, and no previous AI experience is necessary. This course will include videos from Google employees who work in AI, readings to help deepen your understanding of concepts, and interactive activities that give you practical experience working with AI. At the end of the course, you'll have the opportunity to earn a skill badge that can be displayed on your resume, social media profiles, and email signature. If you're new to AI, you may have many unanswered questions. You might wonder, how do I engage with AI tools to boost my productivity? How do I apply AI responsibly in my job? Or how should I prepare for the future of AI in the workplace? In Google AI Essentials, we'll address each of those questions and more. I hope you're excited to join me as we uncover the ways AI can enhance your career and life. Let's get started. In today's fast-paced world, AI is quickly becoming a standard tool in every company's toolkit. Navigating the emergence of AI in the workplace is similar to driving down a busy street. Just as knowing the rules of the road can make you a better and more effective driver, understanding the basics of AI can help you to reach your destination safely and to avoid potential roadblocks. To begin this AI journey, let's start by examining what the term artificial intelligence really means. In this context, intelligence refers to the human ability to perform cognitive tasks. A cognitive task is any mental activity such as thinking, understanding, learning, and remembering. As humans, we have cognitive abilities that allow us to make decisions and solve problems. However, there are also limits to how much information we can process at a time. AI is capable of extending our cognitive abilities, helping us to make better decisions and solve problems faster. With that understanding, the term artificial intelligence refers to computer programs that can complete cognitive tasks typically associated with human intelligence. Simply put, AI programs can assist us with tasks by using math to learn from data. As you'll soon discover, AI has the potential to greatly improve the quality of our work lives and streamline business operations. However, AI isn't a magic solution to every business problem. As with any advanced tool, the key is to use AI to its strengths, and doing so requires careful thought and consideration of the technology's capabilities. Are you curious to discover how AI works? Want to find out how AI can enhance your work? Then get ready to explore these questions with me in Google AI Essentials. Across every industry, AI is introducing new approaches to work. Companies and organizations of every type are developing innovative solutions to a variety of workplace tasks and challenges, all with the help of AI. Let's explore some examples of how AI is reshaping the way people work all across the globe. Consider UKG, a provider of HR and workforce management solutions. By integrating AI into its product suite, UKG is improving how its employees analyze information and insights. This can make it easier and faster for employees to receive answers to their work related questions. UKG's AI integration also enables managers to gain advanced analytics from user interactions, helping them make more informed business decisions. Now let's consider one of the oldest industries in the world: farming. AI is also being used to address many challenges in this industry. For example, a common challenge that rural farmers face each year is economic uncertainty due to a variety of factors. One is frequent changes with crop and livestock yields. Other factors include unpredictable weather conditions and limited access to advanced farming techniques. Uncertainties like these can make it difficult for farmers to make effective business decisions. Jiva is an agricultural company focused on helping rural farmers solve these types of challenges. As part of their mission, Jiva provides farming communities with AI solutions that can assist them in achieving sustainable and reliable farming practices. Jiva uses AI tools that can diagnose crop diseases and suggest remedies. Farmers can also receive relevant AI powered advice that helps them produce better quality crops and increase yields. With the help of AI, Jiva helps rural farmers stay informed and access more insights that can improve their business. Overall, AI can be a powerful tool for all kinds of business activities. And no matter the industry, AI has the potential to transform how companies and organizations develop innovative, forward thinking solutions. As you continue your journey into the world of AI, consider this. In what ways can AI positively impact your industry? And how can you be part of that change?
My name is Anup. I'm Director of AI and Future Technologies at Google. Director of AI and Future Technologies means I focus on thinking about where AI and other technologies will be used to improve the user experience in the future. 20 years ago, I did my PhD in artificial intelligence and human-computer interaction. If you told me 20 years ago we'd be seeing the type of artificial intelligence technology that we're seeing today, I wouldn't have believed it. AI, I think right now is like a bullet train. Every week there's some innovation that seems tremendous. It's actually very difficult to keep up with it as a researcher, enough so that sometimes I use AI itself to help me keep track of summarizing the things that are actually happening. It's hard to say if it's comparable to the birth of the internet since it's so early in its current form. But I would say that the opportunity for AI to transform the way individuals are working and also the way individuals are learning is actually equal. AI tools are a fantastic way to improve your professional growth and development. First is in just improving your own productivity. Sitting down in front of tools that you can use to help you draft a paper, to synthesize a set of research that you're doing. AI can be used to help you create new content and new designs. You can use image creation tools today to create ideas that are in your imagination using just text-based prompts. AI-assisted coding can actually help you tackle harder problems because what it does is it'll give you suggestions for ways to approach certain problems, as well as help you in the skills you'll actually need to understand how to actually tackle them. They're tools today. They're actually easy to sit down and use. They can be very fun to use, and then they can lead to a transformative change. In recent times, with the era of large language models, I am using them to help me draft, to write, to even edit what I've actually written. And I really find that capability to help my productivity as well as help me become a better writer. I remember one article that I had to write, and it was an article trying to describe what was happening in the AI industry. And I was, at the end of the day, needing to complete this. And I said, okay, let me sit down in front of the LLM and get some hints. And it probably saved me most of my evening, to actually get the early drafts and early thinking collaboratively with the AI system. All those tools, they aren't a replacement for what I do because I need my own expertise to double check and collaborate with the AI systems. But, I do find them actually quite helpful. The more I'm able to work on creative and in-depth tasks, really the deep work that I'm able to do, the more satisfied I am really in the work that I'm doing.
All the buzz surrounding AI can make it seem like the hottest new tech trend. But the truth is, AI has been around for a while. For example, have you ever wondered how streaming platforms recommend videos you might like? This feature is brought to you by AI. For years, streaming platforms have used AI tools to offer services like recommendation systems that enhance the user experience. An AI tool refers to AI-powered software that can automate or assist users with a variety of tasks. Examples of AI tools are everywhere, from GPS systems that suggest quick routes to translation systems that interpret conversations in real time. Companies of all shapes and sizes use AI tools to streamline operations and improve the quality of their products and services. While these AI tools can seem naturally smart, it's important to recognize that they're not self-taught. Instead, they're powered by what's known as machine learning. Machine learning, or ML, is a subset of AI focused on developing computer programs that can analyze data to make decisions or predictions. ML is a specialized layer under the broader category of AI technology. It's often used by AI tools to make sense of data quickly and efficiently. AI designers build ML programs using a training set, which is a collection of data used to teach AI. Basically, training sets provide ML programs with examples of what to expect and how to respond appropriately. For example, consider a food distributor that uses an AI tool to sort and pack ripe apples in their factory. For this tool to work, an AI designer must first train an ML program to identify ripe apples. They would do this by providing their ML program with a training set that includes thousands of images of ripe and unripe apples. As the ML program processes these images, it eventually learns to identify the features of ripe apples. Having learned to do this with ML, the AI tool can then identify ripe apples that weren't in its training set and help factory employees work more efficiently. As I mentioned earlier, many AI tools use ML to learn and improve their performance. However, for ML programs to perform effectively, the quality and relevance of their training data matter. A fundamental issue to be aware of is the potential for bias within training data. This could unintentionally cause an AI tool to produce inaccurate or unintended outputs. For example, the AI tool that was used to sort ripe apples might have learned from training data that only contained images of specific types of red apples. This would unintentionally make the AI less accurate at identifying ripe apples of varying sizes, shapes, or colors. The food producer might end up sorting apples incorrectly, causing them to lose money and waste perfectly good apples. When used appropriately, ML plays a key role in advancing AI into the future. It's truly an incredible and sophisticated technique with endless applications. Advancements in AI technology are reshaping how we work. Let's explore one of the key developments at the center of this transformation: generative AI. As the name suggests, generative AI is AI that can generate new content, such as text, images, or other media. A unique quality of generative AI tools is that you can use them with natural language. Natural language refers to the way people talk or write when communicating with each other. Here's a simplified overview of how a generative AI tool works with natural language. First, you provide input. Input refers to any information or data that's sent to a computer for processing. Many generative AI tools accept text and speech as input, and some also accept images or video files. Next, the data is processed by the AI tool. Then, an output is generated in the form of text, images, audio, or video. Generative AI and the ability to interact with computers using natural language has introduced a world of possibilities for what people can create with AI. For example, you might be marketing a new business. You need fresh, engaging content like a promotional poster to advertise a new product, but you don't have a creative team to bring your ideas to life. No need to stress. With a few instructions, generative AI can help you create a poster. If the generated content doesn't meet your expectations, you can provide additional instructions until it produces something that meets your needs. This is just one example of how generative AI can complement your skills, but there are many other ways it can benefit you in your work. For example, generative AI can boost your productivity by helping you with tasks like drafting replies to emails. It can help you avoid mistakes, and it can improve your decision making process by answering questions and brainstorming ideas with you. Whether you work in healthcare, education, finance, retail, or any other field, there are a wide variety of generative AI tools that can cater to your needs. One example is a conversational AI tool. A conversational AI tool is a generative AI tool that processes text requests and generates text responses. You can use it to brainstorm ideas, answer questions, and boost your productivity. Throughout Google AI Essentials, you'll gain practical experience using a conversational AI tool by Google called Gemini. Gemini can be used to get some creative inspiration when you're feeling stuck, build on your ideas, and provide detailed explanations that help you explore topics easily. For example, let's ask Gemini to brainstorm a list of team bonding activities for our summer work retreat. The AI tool responds with a wide range of ideas, from a fun beach party to a relaxed pottery class. Gemini also shares some additional tips to consider when planning a successful work retreat. Generative AI has paved the way to exciting new frontiers. But before we can tap into what this technology has to offer, it's essential to investigate the capabilities and limitations of AI as a whole. Continue to the next part of this lesson to get started. Just as you don't need to be a carpenter to use a hammer, you don't need to be a computer expert to use AI effectively. That said, understanding the basics of what AI can do will help you make the most of the technology. Today's AI tools can do a lot to enhance your work. They can generate content, like assisting a marketing team by making a promotional video for a new product. They can analyze information quickly, like highlighting the key points of a long email thread. They can answer questions in a detailed and nuanced way. And overall, they can simplify your day-to-day and allow you to focus on other aspects of your work. While AI can complete a variety of tasks, there are some tasks that require a human touch, such as handling sensitive issues. These limitations can be critical in certain contexts. For example, AI can't learn independently. It needs people to continually update its training. Shortcomings in an AI tool's training data can also potentially reflect or amplify biases, leading to skewed or unfair outcomes. Another major limitation is that AI output can sometimes contain inaccuracies, otherwise known as hallucinations. Hallucinations are AI outputs that are not true. These inaccuracies can range from minor errors, such as a sentence that doesn't make sense, to significant distortions. For instance, consider a sales manager who's using an AI tool to analyze quarterly sales data. The AI tool might identify declining sales of a particular product and flag the item as something that should be removed from stores. However, what if there were a seasonal factor affecting sales that hadn't been accounted for in the AI tool's analysis? Hallucinations like this one can lead to misguided decisions if the user doesn't carefully review the AI tool's output. Considering AI's limitations, human oversight over AI-generated output is crucial to ensure that the information is accurate and ethical. Effective management of AI in the workplace requires teamwork, from technical to non-technical roles, to ensure that AI's output and decision-making processes are aligned with values that benefit people. Ultimately, an inclusive approach that maintains human oversight over these tools is the key to shaping a brighter future where AI works for everyone.
Hi, my name is Alec, and I'm an engineering program manager here at Google, and I'm on the Central Knowledge Management team. The aim of this department is to ensure that knowledge is not stale, that Googlers in particular are not reading documents or working with tools that are out of date, but just to ensure that the information they're exposed to is current, up to date, and truly reflects on what's going on internally. I definitely have a very non-traditional path. Studied architecture in college. I was working in the architecture field for about 5 years. I think architecture helped me get better at establishing frameworks, applying frameworks, and it's something that I can use now with my job as a program manager at Google, to just making sure that things are set up appropriately. And AI helps with that a lot too, to help me analyze different things to ensure that projects can be successful. First thing I used it for was to better understand AI. I used AI to learn about AI and asked AI for recommended material to read as well. That was very useful. The advice I would have for people that want to use AI tools for the first time is don't be afraid to use it for something small and then, work your way up. Try to find a task that might be hard for you or maybe somewhat stressful or you're not really looking forward to it and see how you can leverage it. One example of how I use AI tools to make my life more easier, especially with work, is starting off a document. That's like the hardest thing for me. Just getting the template started, having specific sections and headings in there, leveraging AI is very useful and helpful. It kind of helps me create a more concise document as well. I use AI for ways to make my work more efficient, whether it's me taking notes, email summarization, organizing emails, providing key points on documents, planning for the week. During every meeting, I create transcripts for meetings, and then use AI to help me create immediate action items, summarize the meeting, and provide me key takeaways from the meeting. Saves me an hour to an hour and a half of my time. And when things are efficient and they move well, it makes work easier, it makes it more fulfilling. And that's something that is amazing and is something that is very, very powerful.
Ever wondered how to turn your busy workday into an orderly operation? Let's consider the incredible ways AI can enhance your day-to-day processes. When we use AI at work, embracing a people-first strategy is essential. AI enhances our unique human skills and simplifies many of the tasks that we perform. Essentially, AI augments our own capabilities. In this context, AI augmentation refers to the process of using AI to improve a work product, whether by making it easier to do or higher in quality. For example, think of your own job or a job you might have held in the past. Like mine, your job probably consists of a variety of tasks and duties. Some of the tasks might be simple, like manually responding to routine questions over email. Other tasks might be more complex, like brainstorming new ideas with coworkers. AI can help you with many of these things by augmenting the work you do, helping you complete the task quicker and more efficiently. Another way AI can help you to do your work is through automation. AI automation refers to the process of using AI to accomplish tasks without any action on the user's part. For example, maybe a customer support representative receives hundreds of emails every day from customers asking for help. They might spend a lot of time reading each email and typing responses one at a time. Using an AI tool, they could automatically sort incoming emails by priority. For emails with low priority, they could use AI to draft replies. With some guidance from other customer support agents or training data containing past replies, the AI could learn to quickly generate quality email responses. By automating this task, the representative could then focus on high-priority messages, like ones reporting complex issues that require personal attention. Striking the right balance between augmentation and automation takes time, practice, and thoughtful consideration. Successful businesses can set themselves apart by applying a people-first approach to AI in their products, services, and jobs. Think of AI as a collaborative workspace that thrives on diverse perspectives. Consider a public relations professional who wants to use AI to assist in the creation of press releases. To make sure they get an optimal result, they need to provide human oversight of the AI tool. But it shouldn't stop there. It's essential that they also collaborate with other members of their team, such as managers who can coordinate resources for the project, members of the editorial team to ensure that the releases are representative of the brand's voice, and guidance from the legal department to ensure appropriate rules and regulations are followed. Everyone has to cooperate to integrate AI successfully and to make sure the tool's generated output meets expectations. Integrating AI at work must be an inclusive process. It requires diverse perspectives from people across different roles and departments to achieve the best results. It's critical to learn and adapt as AI is introduced into the workplace. By taking the time to understand AI and how it can provide benefits in your work, you can effectively contribute to the discussion. AI isn't just about adopting the latest tech. The goal should be to thoughtfully incorporate AI in a way that puts people first and adds value to your work. In this section, we discovered how AI works, including the fundamentals of AI and machine learning. We investigated the capabilities and limits of AI. We also examined how AI can enhance your work and help you become more efficient. The AI field is constantly changing. New advancements are made every day, and the technology is continuously improving. I hope this experience serves as an exciting introduction into new AI-powered possibilities. To continue learning, I encourage you to explore how to transform the way you work with AI as a part of Google AI Essentials.
We'll explore how to effectively engage with AI tools to tackle a variety of tasks and boost your productivity. AI tools are revolutionizing the way we approach work. These tools can offer creative solutions that help organizations and individuals tackle challenges both big and small. Whether you're in design, finance, or any other field, generative AI can help you streamline processes and maximize productivity. Do you create content? Generative AI can help you write drafts and create images in minutes. Is data analysis more your thing? Generative AI can assist you with forecasting trends and communicating insights to stakeholders. Maybe you need help brainstorming innovative ideas. Generative AI can help with that too. Hi, my name is Tris, and I'm a Director of Product Management here at Google DeepMind. Together, my team and I build AI products that simplify complex tasks, making your daily work life smoother and hopefully more efficient. I've been at Google for almost 10 years, and I've seen so many amazing projects in AI. I started my career in AI about 20 years ago in Cambridge, Massachusetts, at a small startup building, of all things, a natural language search engine. In my job, I use AI to collaborate with colleagues, research fresh product concepts, and find creative approaches to problem solving. For example, I often use AI to brainstorm ideas for how I can make my team meetings more fun and productive. Essentially, I use AI a lot to help me boost my productivity and better achieve my goals. I'm thrilled to be your guide on this tour into the dynamic world of generative AI. In this part of the course, we'll explore practical applications of generative AI that can transform the way you work. And along the way, you'll learn how to boost your productivity with AI tools. You'll also learn about using AI responsibly by applying a human-in-the-loop approach to AI. So, are you ready to explore how generative AI can transform your workday? Let's uncover all the amazing things you can do with AI. Picture this. You've got an idea, and with just a few clicks, you're bringing it to life. That's what generative AI is all about. It's a collaborative tool that can help you accelerate your workflow. As you might recall, generative AI is AI that can generate new content like text, images, or other media. This versatility paves the way for endless creative applications. Imagine you're a web designer and you're creating a new website for a local business. You could tap into an array of generative AI tools to complete various parts of the project more efficiently. For instance, one of the most common types of generative AI tools are text generators. These tools can help you draft engaging content, like crafting a compelling company profile or creating detailed product descriptions for your website. They can also support your research on topics relevant to the business, summarizing information for easy understanding, and much more. Text generators can even help you translate your content into multiple languages, making the website accessible to a wider audience. Another type of generative AI tool you can use is an image generator. This tool can be used to create a logo that aligns with the business's branding, design visuals for social media posts, and more. And why stop at images? An audio and video generator can assist you with producing promotional videos and other kinds of multimedia projects that showcase your company's products and services. Finally, to bring the website to life, you can use a code generator for tasks like ensuring that the website loads correctly on desktops, tablets, and mobile devices. There are endless ways to use these types of generative AI tools to boost your productivity, whether it be to generate text, images, audio, video, or code. Now that you know more about the potential applications of generative AI, think of everything you can accomplish with these tools.
Hi, I'm Manvinder. I'm a director of product management in the AI team at Google. My job involves talking to developers, talking to startups, talking to companies that are using our AI technologies, understand their feedback, and then incorporate that into the tools that we offer to them to build applications using our AI tech. So one of the most amazing things about generative AI is it can be used as a collaborative tool by almost everybody in your day-to-day tasks. Anything from writing memos, writing emails, creating slides, working on spreadsheets, doing research. It's just a great tool for you to collaborate with. Another great use case for AI is for it to be your creative brainstorming partner. For example, I was recently working with our marketing team and we were brainstorming strategies for marketing a particular product. And I used AI to just generate ideas. It gave us a lot of new ideas that maybe just me alone would not have thought of. I'm using AI when I'm creating graphics in slides. I'm using them to do long form writing. For example, if you're writing a memo or an email or a blog post, AI just makes it easier to get started, helps you overcome writer's block. I'm using AI to do visualizations in spreadsheets. And of course, when I'm beginning research on a new topic, I like to use AI to just give me a head start. It is helping me be more efficient. It is helping me do things in a better way. It is also helping me do new things. For example, about a year ago, me and my wife were redesigning our kitchen, and we decided to try out Stable Diffusion, which is an open source image generation model, to create different styles of the kitchen that we wanted, combining different cabinet styles and island styles. We really saw firsthand how we could use the power of generative AI to solve common challenges that we face in our everyday lives. AI can often help you become even better at the skills that you might possess. For example, if you often do a lot of long form writing, AI can help you become more efficient by giving you a head start and overcoming writer's block. It can add more ideas to the memos you're writing, the emails you're writing, the blogs you're writing. I'm excited about the applications of AI in diverse fields. I'm also excited about the massive challenges that we can solve as a community, as an ecosystem. It will lead to productivity improvements. It'll lead to new ways of doing things. The potential of impact of AI is immense.
There are all kinds of ways to leverage AI tools, and many of them are readily available to you. Let's explore the different ways that AI tools can be integrated into your work routine and how they can streamline your workflows. As you might recall, an AI tool is AI-powered software that can automate or assist users with a variety of tasks. In your role, you may come across generative AI tools in a few different ways: as standalone AI tools, as integrated AI features, or as custom solutions. A standalone AI tool describes AI-powered software that's designed to be used on its own. Standalone AI tools can be accessed online or downloaded to a device with little or no technical setup. For example, Speako is an AI speech coach designed to help you communicate with confidence. Speako uses AI to analyze your voice and give you feedback on how to improve your communication skills in any setting, whether you're preparing for online meetings or in-person presentations. Suppose you're preparing for a job interview and want to practice answering common interview questions. With Speako, you can record yourself responding to these questions, and Speako will give you feedback on aspects like clarity, pacing, and word choice, helping you learn how to communicate more effectively during the actual interview. Speako also gives you personalized exercises to help you improve your skills. As another example, let's say you want to create a new image for a design project using a desktop app you already have. Instead of searching for a standalone image generator, the desktop app might have an integrated AI feature that can help you get the job done. An integrated AI feature refers to a built-in enhancement to a particular piece of software. For example, Neural Filters is an AI tool that's built right into Adobe Photoshop. It lets you edit images by blurring backgrounds, adjusting colors, changing facial expressions, and much more. Standalone tools and integrated features are two common ways to use AI, but custom AI solutions are also an option. A custom AI solution is an application that's tailor-made to solve a specific problem. For instance, in 2022, Johns Hopkins Hospital implemented an AI solution to help doctors detect sepsis, a condition where the body has an extreme response to an infection. This AI solution allowed doctors to diagnose and treat patients up to 6 hours sooner than previously possible, leading to improved patient outcomes. AI models like this can be rewarding to build, but they typically require dedicated resources and buy-in from your organization to produce. In this course, we'll focus mainly on standalone generative AI tools because they're readily available, often free to use, and can easily fit in your work stream. Before using AI tools, it's helpful to understand the technologies that power them. AI models. An AI model is a computer program trained on a set of data to recognize patterns and perform specific tasks. Think of the AI model as the engine and the AI tool as the car. The model provides the underlying capabilities, while the tool's interface assists you in completing tasks. Whether you're using a standalone tool, an integrated feature, or a custom solution in your work, remember that an AI tool is powered by an AI model. Next up, we'll explore how to effectively engage with AI tools to tackle a variety of tasks and boost your productivity. Many jobs require creativity, problem solving, and brainstorming, which can be challenging or time-consuming. Imagine you're tasked with writing a comprehensive report on the latest industry trends impacting your company. You're trying your best to write, but you're not sure where to start and are feeling overwhelmed with all the information. Sound familiar? I've definitely been there too. In situations like these, generative AI tools can be incredibly useful. They can help you conduct exploratory research, create an outline, and offer insights into the information you've explored. We've explored various types of generative AI tools and how they're capable of assisting with tasks like this. Now, let's consider how to actually use these tools and apply them to solve problems. To use a generative AI tool, you'll need to guide the tool with a prompt. A prompt is a text input that provides instructions to the AI model on how to generate output. Think of prompts as your way of communicating with a generative AI tool. You can edit and refine your prompts as many times as needed to tell the tool exactly what you need it to do. Suppose you're an IT professional tasked with creating a how-to guide for a new software application. You could prompt a text generator to draft a step-by-step guide for installing new software. For parts of your work that involve troubleshooting, you could prompt the AI tool to identify errors in this code to help you address any programming issues. You can use the same AI tool to summarize user feedback on the software application, so you can address user feedback efficiently while also ensuring that the application is user-friendly. Or, let's say you're starting a business selling backpacks. Think of the time you can save by prompting a generative AI tool to list creative name ideas for an outdoor backpack brand. You could then use the tool to help you attract investors by prompting it to draft a comprehensive business plan that focuses on backpack production. And as your business grows, you could use the same generative AI tools to craft a job description for a sales manager with online retail experience. Using generative AI like this streamlines your brainstorming and planning process, allowing you to also focus on growing your business. Whether you work in retail, technology, manufacturing, sales, or any other field, generative AI tools can be used to enhance your creative problem-solving skills and transform the way you approach your work. Now that we've explored a few ways to use generative AI tools, take a moment to think about your own job and the industry that you work in. How might you use generative AI to help you accomplish tasks more quickly and efficiently? Now let's practice creating effective prompts that can guide an AI tool to generate content. Imagine you want to use an AI tool to help you apply for a new job. I'll focus on simple prompts here, and you'll discover prompt engineering best practices later in the course. To use Gemini, go to gemini.google.com. Sign in with a Google account. If you don't have a Google account, you can create one for free by clicking Create Account. Once you're signed into your Google account, you can start providing Gemini with prompts. Let's say the job that you want to apply for is in social media. Your prompt might be, write a cover letter for a social media position. Neat! The response provides you with a useful starting point or template that you can customize to make your cover letter really stand out. After adding some finishing touches, you send the letter off. And great news, you receive an invitation to interview with the company. You can continue to use Gemini to help you prepare for the interview. Your next prompt could be, what are some interview tips to help me prepare for a social media position? The output includes a variety of options to choose from. They seem to be insightful and tailored to the social media industry, offering advice on topics like what to do before and during your interview. Fast forward a few years down the road, you landed that social media job, grew within the company, and you're now in charge of onboarding new hires. You can turn to a tool like Gemini once more with a prompt like this one. Suggest 3 innovative training activities that new employees could participate in. Wow, those suggestions are really fun activities for new employees. When using generative AI tools, it's important to write clear and specific prompts. The more you experiment with writing prompts, the better you'll get at using AI tools to accomplish your goals. Although AI is a useful tool to help you accomplish tasks, it requires human involvement. No AI tool has the depth of experience, practical knowledge, and interactive skills that we do. Maintaining human oversight over AI is critical. An effective strategy for doing so is a human-in-the-loop approach, which uses a combination of machine and human intelligence to train, use, verify, and refine AI models. Let's try this strategy. Consider this scenario. An insurance company uses a custom AI solution to answer customer inquiries. When a customer sends a question to the company using their contact form, AI drafts an email response based on specific words and phrases in the message. Then, a customer service agent reviews the customer inquiry and revises the email response as necessary before approving and then sending the message. Later, the development team can update the AI model based on the agent's feedback. Now, consider a business owner that's using a standalone AI tool to draft a new brand slogan. They prompt the tool with specific keywords and phrases that they'd like to feature in the slogan, and the tool generates a list of ideas. As the business owner reviews the output, they find a catchy option that really stands out. However, it needs a little refinement to get the phrasing just right. So, the business owner prompts the AI tool with a few extra details, and voila! They put together a catchy new slogan for their business. Oversight is essential to ensure quality and accuracy when using AI tools. A human-in-the-loop approach blends the efficiency of AI tools with human insight that's critical for practicing responsible AI. Responsible AI is the principle of developing and using AI ethically, with the intent of benefiting people and society while avoiding harm. It's important for businesses, customers, and employees alike to ensure that they use AI responsibly. One aspect of responsible AI involves managing the limitations of AI models, such as knowledge cutoff. Knowledge cutoff is the concept that an AI model is trained at a specific point in time, so it doesn't have any knowledge of events or information after that date. For example, imagine you're a financial analyst and you need to prompt an AI tool to analyze yesterday's stock market fluctuations. If the tool's last training date was in 2022, it wouldn't be able to provide you with the information you asked for because it doesn't know about events or information beyond its last training date. In situations like these, well-designed AI tools should recognize their limitations and respond accordingly. However, there are situations when a tool might try to generate a response despite its knowledge cutoff, leading to a hallucination. Hallucinations are AI outputs that are not true. Hallucinations can be problematic because they can lead to misinformation, misinterpretation, or inappropriate responses that might damage a company's reputation or result in customer dissatisfaction. For example, picture working at a retail company using an AI tool to forecast how much product inventory to order. If the AI tool produces inaccurate, outdated, or misinterpreted information, those hallucinations could lead the company to order the wrong amount of inventory, causing supply issues for customers. While hallucinations can pose challenges, they can also be beneficial to your creative process. Suppose you use an AI image generator to help you design concept art for a fantasy-themed video game. You prompt the AI tool to create an image of a beautiful castle floating in the sky, and it outputs a unique, fun image, which also happens to be a hallucination. In this example, you produced a hallucination intentionally. However, hallucinations can be misleading when used in the wrong context. When using AI tools, it's important to apply a human-in-the-loop approach. By reviewing and evaluating AI-generated content, you can help mitigate the potential effects of hallucinations. This approach helps ensure that AI-generated outputs are not only innovative, but also accurate, relevant, and ethical, enhancing outcomes for businesses, customers, and society as a whole.
Hi, I'm Kathy. I'm a product manager on the Google Labs team, and I work on Code AI. Code AI is ways to generate programming languages and code so that software developers can use Code AI to help them write applications. So I'm from Alaska, and we were the first family on the block to get internet. I'm one of 5 kids, so my mom had a sign-up sheet, so everybody in the family wanted to use a computer so much that we all just got 30-minute increments. I remember when I first opened up a browser and went to a web page, I saw other comments on it from people who were around the world, and I had no idea that you could talk to people that quickly who are on the other side of the planet, and it just blew my mind. When I look at AI, and especially with the advancement of LLMs and applying that to all of the developer tools that we have today, I have that same feeling of just being incredibly in awe of what is happening and what we're making, what my colleagues and I are making. When you're thinking about AI and you're thinking about large language models or deep learning or whatever application of AI you're dealing with, at the heart of whatever that model is a person who is training it, who's evaluating it, who is applying more data to it. Human in the loop is doing things like writing a prompt for the AI to give you a question, and then the AI gives you a question and you further refine. For me, it helps me write code. So if it doesn't get the code answer correct, I'll further prompt it to get it to give me a function that I actually really like. So the way I look at human in the loop is a way to refine the AI's answers. There's a huge potential for AI to do good in the world. And the reason why is because AI is a tool that humans created to help us connect with each other more and help us be more human.
As you consider how to use generative AI in your own work, it's important to understand what AI can and can't do. One way to assess whether to apply generative AI to a task is to consider these guiding questions. First, is the task generative? Then, can the task be iterated on to achieve the best outcome? And finally, are there resources to provide adequate human oversight? Let's use a scenario to demonstrate how you might answer these questions and decide whether to use a generative AI tool. Imagine you're preparing for the grand opening of your new restaurant. You consider using an AI tool to create a promotional ad for the event, but you need some assistance developing the images. You start by asking, is the task generative? Yes. Recall that generative AI is a type of AI that can generate new content, such as text, images, or other media. So, generative AI can help you create promotional materials like text or images to advertise your new restaurant. Next, can the task be iterated on to achieve the best outcome? In other words, can you refine your prompt to improve your AI-generated output? This is another yes. Generative AI tools allow you to edit and refine your prompts as many times as you need to achieve the desired results. In this case, say your restaurant serves Italian food, and the AI tool generates an ad with a picture of a spaghetti dish. After thinking about the output, you decide it'd be more appealing to feature your restaurant's freshly baked pizza coming out of your wood-fired oven. You iterate and refine your prompt until you receive the best results. And finally, are there resources to provide adequate human oversight? Once again, the answer here is yes. Either you, as the restaurant's owner, or one of your employees will need to review the AI-generated ads before sharing them with the public. Remember that a human-in-the-loop approach should always be taken when using AI tools, so make sure that you or someone on your team is able to review and edit the output. By asking yourself these guiding questions, you can decide whether to use generative AI tools on a specific task. If you answered yes to all of the questions, then using a generative AI might be the right fit. But what happens if you answer no to one or more of the questions? For example, suppose you need to negotiate with local suppliers to get fair prices for the ingredients you want to use at your restaurant. When it comes to the question, is the task generative? The answer in this situation is no. A task like this is not generative because it requires communication and relationship building, skills that require a human touch. As you continue to experiment with using AI at work, try asking yourself these guiding questions to decide whether generative AI could help you complete some of your tasks.
Having a technology platform, we get a ton of data, and that just means user data, performance data, and being able to make sense of that data can sometimes be a challenge. What's the next most important feature to build? What's the next most important feature to optimize? What's the next most important decision to make? Leveraging Sheets with Gemini has been really phenomenal in terms of helping us inform strategy, and then also empowering our team to have the analytics tools to be able to make data-driven decisions. The ability to use Google Sheets with Gemini has had an incredible impact on our business. It's been a game changer. I can't imagine not using this.
There's something really satisfying about a good spreadsheet. It's so organized. It's so contained. But let's face it, all that data can also take a long time to analyze and make sense of. Fortunately, Gemini and Google Sheets can speed up the process so that you can get straight to making smart, data-driven decisions. Let's give it a try. I'll open up a Google Sheet with product feedback survey data and start with a super simple prompt. We're able to keep it simple because the spreadsheet has all the context Gemini needs. And a more open-ended prompt helps us discover broader trends or patterns in the data. Analyze this product feedback survey data. And just like that, Gemini has analyzed the feedback survey data and is helping me identify areas for improvement. There's a few places where I'd like to see higher scores, but today I'll just focus on the ease of use score. I'll ask Gemini for more help. Based on the feedback, what can I do to improve my ease of use score? Gemini offered 7 different recommendations on how to improve. Some items I can address pretty quickly, like improving documentation and tutorials, but others will be more challenging, like reducing glitches and errors. Overall, this information was insightful and will help me improve my customers' experience. If you're not a data person, don't worry. Just prompt Gemini in Sheets to get you started. You can ask simple questions like, what are the trends? Or what data points should I be paying attention to and why? This approach of starting broad and getting more narrow is especially useful if you are trying to uncover new trends, correlations, or insights from a data set. Finally, you can also use Gemini to generate data visualizations. Once you gather your insights, ask for a chart or a graph to represent your data. Now you can easily share your findings with others. Ready to give it a try? What data do you need help analyzing?
I have 50 employees, 6 different locations. I have a ton of meetings a week. Those meetings are often me scrambling to take notes or trying to set it up or do the things about meetings that no one wants to do. So I guess that's my issue. So introducing note-taking by Gemini in our meetings has helped me let go of all that. My responsibility now is to engage with my employees, make sure they're supported and have the answers they need. There's accountability for both my employees and myself. We can look back and reference these things historically. So instead of focusing on meeting for meeting's sake, now we can focus on running a business and having a dialogue and making sure the business is running efficiently.
Is it important to take notes on what's being discussed and agreed upon in a meeting? Yes. Can the very act of taking notes distract you from what's happening in the meeting? Also, yes. But you can direct Gemini to take notes for you so you can stay engaged and focused. Here's how it works. When you start a Google Meet, select the Take Notes with Gemini feature. After you're done with your meeting, you can review the AI-generated notes in a Google Doc. Then you can edit and share them with all the meeting attendees. You can also prompt Gemini in Docs to do more with your notes, like summarize key decisions made, create the agenda for next week's meeting, or draft a follow-up email reminding managers of their action items. Let's give it a try now. Create a follow-up email reminding attendees of their action items. There we have it, an email draft I can easily copy and customize so that the team can keep moving forward. For those of us who attend nonstop meetings or may want some help staying organized, this is a game changer. I have a few more tips when you're using Gemini in Docs for meeting follow-up. Say there's a very specific part of the document where I need Gemini's help. I can highlight that text and direct Gemini in Docs to reduce the highlighted part of the meeting notes to a 2-line summary. Another thing I love to do, say I wanted to include a quick reminder about our project's goals, but that information lives in another document. No problem. You can pull this information in. Just use the @ symbol and type in the document's name, then tell Gemini what you want to do with it. Test it out. What documents are you working on, and how might you use Gemini to help you stay organized and on track?
Hey, nice job completing this section of the course. Let's review what we've covered. First, we explored practical applications of generative AI and how you can use generative AI to help you accomplish many different tasks. Then we explored how to boost your productivity with AI tools. Next, we investigated using a human-in-the-loop approach. Remember, this approach is critical for the responsible use of AI. It involves integrating human judgment and oversight when using AI, ensuring that it aligns with the needs and values of both you and your business. And finally, you learned how to use simple guiding questions to help determine if generative AI is right for a task. These questions can help you make informed decisions about when and how to use this technology. I've truly enjoyed being a part of your journey as we've explored how to leverage AI in the workplace and boost your productivity. To continue learning, discover the art of prompt engineering in the upcoming section of Google AI Essentials.
Prompt engineering involves designing the best prompt you can to get the output you want. Think about how you use language in your daily life. Language is used for so many purposes: to build connections, express opinions, or explain ideas. And sometimes you might want to use language to prompt others to respond in a particular way. Maybe you want someone to give you a recommendation or clarify something. In those cases, the way you phrase your words can affect how others respond. The same is true when prompting a conversational AI tool with a question or request. A prompt is text input that provides instructions to the AI model on how to generate output. For example, someone who owns a clothing store might want an AI model to output new ideas for how to market their clothing. This business owner might write the prompt, "I own a clothing store. We sell high fashion women's wear. Help me brainstorm marketing ideas." In this section of the course, you'll focus on how to design or engineer effective prompts to achieve more useful results from a conversational AI tool. My name is Yufang, and I'm an engineer at Google. I first became interested in prompting because getting useful responses from language models was time-consuming. Sometimes it was even quicker for us to do the work without the use of AI. I was inspired to help our tools be more efficient, not less. I'm excited to help you learn more about developing effective prompts. First, you'll discover how LLMs generate output in response to prompts. And then you'll explore the role of prompt engineering in improving the quality of the output. Prompt engineering is the practice of developing effective prompts that elicit useful output from generative AI. You'll learn to create clear and specific prompts, one of the most important parts of prompt engineering. The more clear and specific your prompt, the more likely you are to get useful output. Another important part of prompt engineering is iteration. You'll learn about evaluating output and revising your prompts. This will also help you get the results you need when leveraging conversational AI tools in the workplace. We'll also explore a specific prompting technique called few-shot prompting. Writing effective prompts involves critical thinking and creativity. It can also be a fun process, and it's a very important skill to practice if you want to use AI effectively in the workplace. Are you excited to get started on prompt engineering? Let's go! It's helpful to understand how LLMs work and to be aware of their limitations. A large language model, or LLM, is an AI model that is trained on large amounts of text to identify patterns between words, concepts, and phrases so that it can generate responses to prompts. So how do LLMs learn to generate useful responses to prompts? An LLM is trained on millions of sources of text, including books, articles, websites, and more. This training helps the model learn the patterns and relationships that exist in human language. In general, the more high-quality data the model receives, the better its performance will be. Because LLMs can identify so many patterns in language, they can also predict what word is most likely to come next in a sequence of words. Consider a simple example to get a basic understanding of how LLMs predict the next word in a sequence. Take the incomplete sentence, "After it rained, the street was." An LLM can predict what word comes next by computing the probabilities for different possible words. Based on the available data, the word wet might have a high probability of being the next word, the word clean, a lower probability, and the word dry, an extremely low probability. In this case, the LLM might complete the sentence by inserting the word with the highest probability of coming next in the sequence, wet. Or it might be another high probability word like damp. An LLM may vary in its response to the same prompt each time you use it. LLMs use statistics to analyze the relationships between all the words in a given sequence and compute the probabilities for thousands of possible words to come next in that sequence. This predictive power enables LLMs to respond to questions and requests, whether the prompt is to complete a simple sentence or to develop a compelling story for a new product launch or ad campaign. Although LLMs are powerful, you may not always get the output you want. Sometimes this is because of limitations in an LLM's training data. For instance, an LLM's output may be biased because the data it was trained on contains bias. This data may include news articles and websites that reflect the unfair biases present in society. For example, because of the data it was trained on, an LLM may be more likely to produce output that associates a professional occupation with a specific gender role. The training data that informs an LLM can be limited in other ways as well. For instance, an LLM might not generate sufficient content about a specific domain or topic because the data it was trained on does not contain enough information about that topic. Another factor that can affect output is the tendency of LLMs to hallucinate. Hallucinations are AI outputs that are not true. While LLMs are good at responding to many kinds of questions and instructions, they can sometimes generate text that is factually inaccurate. Let's say you're researching a company and you use an LLM to help you summarize the company's history. The LLM might hallucinate and provide incorrect information about certain details, such as the date the company was founded or the current number of employees. A number of factors can contribute to hallucinations, such as the quality of an LLM's training data, the phrasing of the prompt, or the method an LLM uses to analyze text and predict the next word in a sequence. Because of an LLM's limitations, it's important that you critically evaluate all LLM output to determine if it is factually accurate, is unbiased, is relevant to your specific request, and provides sufficient information. Whether you're using AI to summarize a lengthy report, generate ideas for marketing a product, or outline a project plan, be sure to carefully check the quality of the output. Finally, it's important not to make assumptions about an LLM's capabilities. For example, just because it produced high-quality output for a persuasive letter to a customer, don't assume you will get the same quality output if you use the same prompt again in the future. Large language models are powerful tools that require human guidance for effective use. Being aware of an LLM's limitations can help you achieve the best possible results. Hi, I'm Yufeng, and I'm a developer relations engineer at Google Cloud. I am but a small part of a much larger team that focuses on creating useful prompts for evaluation and, to some degree, training of the models. I grew up in central Pennsylvania in Hershey, Chocolate Town, and enjoyed kind of math and sciences in high school, and then went to college at Johns Hopkins and studied biomedical engineering. When I graduated college, the company that I worked for had a very extensive training program, and they were specifically looking to hire non-computer science majors. And it wasn't like the normal kind of workplace trainings that we think of today. It was like a super compressed crash course. These days we'd call it a boot camp or something like that, but that didn't exist back then. Prompt engineering is not something that necessarily will happen through intuitive use. Doing prompting properly is really going to help unlock the capabilities of these conversational AI systems for you. Anybody can type in a simple prompt and get a simple answer back, but that's not where things are really interesting, right? It's when you can talk to a system and get a very tailored and customized answer based exactly on your use case. That things get really quite exciting. My advice for folks who are experimenting with these AI tools for the first time would be to not get discouraged if it doesn't produce the results you want initially. These tools aren't magic, and they can't read your minds, right? All they can do is take exactly what you tell them and then try to do the best they can. There's kind of what I think of as side context or implied context that you need to practice getting it out of your head. You want it to be long, you want it to be short, you want it to use simple words, fancy words, like these sorts of things that you know, but you might not know you need to write them down. I would encourage you to just try stuff. You can go wild with the experimentation. Try stuff. You can write a ton of information in, or just like write a little bit, then write a little bit, then write a little bit, and just see how it behaves differently. It becomes just this experimental system. And this process is fun. As you experiment with this and try new things out, you'll find that your fluidity and fluency with these conversational AI tools will be through the roof, and you'll want to keep trying different prompts. And who knows, maybe it'll have a huge impact on your life. Only time will tell. How can you write prompts that produce useful output? It's generally true that the quality of what you start with greatly affects the quality of what you produce. Consider cooking, for example. Let's say you're preparing dinner. If you have fresh, high-quality ingredients, well, you're more likely to produce a great meal. Conversely, if you're missing an ingredient or the ingredients aren't high quality, the resulting meal may not be as good. In a similar way, the quality of the prompt that you put into a conversational AI tool can affect the quality of the tool's output. This is where prompt engineering comes in. Prompt engineering involves designing the best prompt you can to get the output you want from an LLM. This includes writing clear, specific prompts that provide relevant context. To gain a better understanding of the context LLMs need, let's compare how a person and an LLM might respond to the same question. Suppose a vegetarian asks their friend, "What restaurants should I go to in San Francisco?" The friend would likely suggest restaurants with good vegetarian options. However, if prompted with the same question, an LLM might recommend restaurants that are not suitable for a vegetarian. A person would instinctively consider the fact that their friend is a vegetarian when answering the question. But an LLM does not have this prior knowledge. So to get the needed information from an LLM, the prompt must be more specific. In this case, the prompt needs to mention that the restaurant should have good vegetarian options. Let's explore an example that demonstrates how you can use prompt engineering to improve the quality of an LLM's output. Let's take on the task of planning a company event. You need to find a theme for an upcoming conference. Let's write a prompt to Gemini to generate a list of 5 potential themes for an event. You can use similar prompts in ChatGPT, Microsoft Copilot, or any other conversational AI tool. Now let's review the response. Well, this isn't what we wanted. We've gotten a list that seems more related to party themes than themes for a professional conference. Our prompt didn't provide enough context to produce the output we needed. It wasn't clear or specific enough. Let's try this again. This time, we'll type the prompt, "Generate a list of 5 potential themes for a professional conference on customer experience in the hospitality industry." This prompt is much more specific, making it clear that it's a professional conference on customer experience in the hospitality industry. Let's examine the response. This is much better. We engineered our prompt to include specific, relevant context, so Gemini is able to generate useful output. When you provide clear, specific instructions that include necessary context, you enable LLMs to generate useful output. Keep in mind that due to LLM limitations, there might be some instances in which you can't get quality output, regardless of the quality of your prompt. For example, if you're prompting the LLM to find information about a current event, but the LLM doesn't have access to that information, it won't be able to provide the output you need. And like in other areas of design, prompt engineering is often an iterative process. Sometimes, even when you do provide clear and specific instructions, you may not get the output you want on your first try. When our first prompt didn't produce the response we wanted, we revised the prompt to improve the output. The second iteration provided instructions that were clear and specific enough to produce a more useful output. There are multiple ways to leverage an LLM's capabilities at work to boost productivity and creativity. A common one is content creation. You can use an LLM to create emails, plans, ideas, and more. As an example, you can ask an LLM to help you write an article about a work-related topic. Let's prompt Gemini to create an outline for an article on data visualization best practices. The article is for entry-level business analysts. Notice that the prompt begins with the verb create. It's often helpful to include a verb in your prompt to guide the LLM to produce useful output for your intended task. The output provides a helpful outline for a first draft of the article. You can also use an LLM for summarization. an LLM can summarize a lengthy document's main points. For example, you might ask Gemini to summarize a detailed paragraph about project management strategies. We'll begin the prompt with the verb summarize and specify that we want the output to be a single sentence. Then we'll include the paragraph we want Gemini to summarize. The output provides a convenient one-sentence summary of the paragraph. While this example shows how you can summarize a single paragraph, you can ask an LLM to summarize longer text and documents too. Classification is another possible use. For instance, you might prompt the LLM to classify the sentiment or feeling in a group of customer reviews as positive, negative, or neutral. Let's prompt Gemini to classify customer reviews about a retail website's new design as positive, negative, or neutral. The prompt includes the verb classify to guide the output. The prompt also contains the reviews. In this example, there are 4 reviews. The output accurately classifies the first 2 reviews as negative, the third as positive, and the fourth as neutral. Consider how you could leverage an LLM to efficiently complete large classification tasks. Or you can use an LLM for extraction, which involves pulling data from text and transforming it into a structured format that's easier to understand. Suppose you have a report that provides information about a global organization. You can prompt Gemini to extract all mentions of cities and revenue in the report and place them in a table. Then we'll include the report in our prompt. Please be aware that you should not input confidential information into LLMs. But in this example, the report is not confidential. The output displays a table with columns for city and revenue. This presents the information in a well-organized format that's easy to review. Another use is translation. You can leverage an LLM to translate text between different languages. For example, you might ask Gemini to translate the title of a training session from English to Spanish. The output includes a variety of Spanish translations to choose from and explains the reasoning behind each translation. This information can help you choose the most useful option for your audience. Or you can use an LLM for editing, such as to change the tone of a section of text from formal to casual, and to check if the text is grammatically correct. For example, Gemini can help you edit a technical analysis about electric vehicles by making the language more accessible for a non-technical audience. We'll start the prompt with the verb edit and specify that the language should be easy for a non-technical audience to understand. After this, we'll include the technical analysis. The output provides a version of the analysis that an audience less familiar with the technical details can understand. This is just one example of how an LLM can help you edit documents. LLMs can quickly customize the tone, length, and format of documents to fit your needs. One more use for an LLM we'll discuss is problem solving. You can utilize an LLM to generate solutions for a variety of workplace challenges. When planning a company event, for example, you could prompt the LLM to find menu solutions that accommodate the food restrictions of multiple guests while following a holiday-themed menu. And here's another example. Let's say you're an entrepreneur who recently launched a new copy editing service. Let's ask Gemini to solve a problem related to the copy editing service. We'll ask for suggestions for increasing the client base. The output provides specific suggestions for reaching new clients, optimizing services, and growing the business. I love these ideas. Let's ask Gemini to draft an email so we can easily share these ideas with others. LLMs can help you brainstorm solutions for many different types of problems. I'm definitely excited by the variety of ways we can leverage LLMs when completing workplace tasks. It's a very important skill to practice if you want to use AI effectively in the workplace. Coming up, we'll focus more on evaluating output and iterating on your prompt. Have you ever created a presentation for a client? Or designed a website for your new business? If so, you may have used an iterative process to achieve your goal. In an iterative process, you create a first version, evaluate it, and improve upon it for the next version. Then, you repeat these steps until you get the desired outcome. For example, if you're developing a proposal, report, or other document to share with your coworkers, you might produce multiple drafts and make improvements on each draft until you are satisfied with the result. Taking an iterative approach is often the most effective way to solve a problem or develop a product. An iterative process is also effective in prompt engineering. Prompt engineering often requires multiple attempts before you get the optimal output. Most of the time, you won't get the best result on your first try. If you try something and it doesn't work, don't get discouraged. Instead, carefully evaluate the output to determine why you didn't get the response you wanted. Then, revise your prompt to try for a better result. Let's consider possible reasons you might not get useful output after creating a clear and specific prompt. First, differences in large language models can affect output. Each LLM is developed with unique training data and programming techniques, and has different background knowledge about specific domains. For this reason, different models might respond to similar prompts in different ways, and might fail to provide an adequate response to some prompts. Taking an iterative approach with the LLM you're using will produce the best results. Second, LLM limitations. Previously, you learned that LLM output may sometimes be inaccurate, biased, insufficient, irrelevant, or inconsistent. You should critically evaluate all LLM output by asking yourself the following questions. Is the output accurate? Is the output unbiased? Does the output include sufficient information? Is the output relevant to my project or task? And finally, is the output consistent if I use the same prompt multiple times? If you identify any issues when you evaluate output, iterating on your initial prompt can often help you resolve these issues and get better output. To begin, if you notice there's any context missing in your prompt, add it. Your choice of words can also significantly impact an LLM's output. Using different words or phrasing in your prompts often yields different responses from the model. Experimenting with different phrasings can help you obtain the most useful output. Now that you know more about iterative prompting, let's consider an example. Suppose you work as a human resources coordinator for a video production company. The company wants to develop an internship program for students who are exploring careers in animation and motion graphics design. The company is based in the United States, in the state of Pennsylvania, my home state. Your team wants to partner with local colleges to provide internship opportunities for students in Pennsylvania. As a first step, you need to create a list of colleges in Pennsylvania that have animation programs. The list should include necessary details about the colleges and be in a well-organized format that your team can quickly review. Let's review an example using Gemini. Help me find colleges with animation programs in Pennsylvania. Next, we'll examine our output. The output lists colleges in Pennsylvania that have animation programs, along with further information related to these programs. This is helpful information, but it isn't structured in a way that your team can quickly reference when contacting the colleges. Organizing the information in a table would make it easier to read and understand, especially for stakeholders like your manager who may have limited time. We can iterate on the prompt by adding context to specify the desired format of the output. We'll type, "Show these options as a table." The output displays a table that provides useful information about the location of each college and the specific type of degree it offers. Now the list is in a well-organized format that's easier for your team to follow. Although the table contains most of the information your team needs, it doesn't include a key detail: whether the school is a public or private institution. Your company wants to offer internships to students from both public and private colleges. We'll add a new request for Gemini to include the relevant information in the table. Can you add a column showing whether they are public or private? Now the table includes a column that indicates whether a college is private or public. To share this information with your team in a format that's easy to review and understand, you can use the Export to Sheets feature. This will allow your team to easily access and analyze the data and make informed decisions based on the results. You should apply the same iterative approach to further tasks. When you develop prompts for additional tasks, be aware that previous prompts made in the same conversation can influence the output of your most recent prompt. If you notice this is happening, you may want to start a new conversation. Iteration is a key part of prompt engineering. By taking an iterative approach to prompting, you can leverage an LLM to provide the most useful output for your needs. Have you ever created something new by building upon previous examples? Perhaps you used a well-received report as a reference when writing a similar report. Or maybe you used a relevant and engaging website as a model when designing your own website. Examples are also useful for LLMs. Including examples in your prompt can help an LLM better respond to your request and can be an especially effective strategy to get your desired output. We're going to explore how to use examples in prompting, but first, let's briefly discuss the technical term shot. In prompt engineering, the word shot is often used as a synonym for the word example. There are different names for prompting techniques based on the number of examples given to the LLM. Zero-shot prompting is a technique that provides no examples in a prompt, while one-shot prompting provides one example. And few-shot prompting is a technique that provides two or more examples in a prompt. Because examples aren't included in zero-shot prompts, the model is expected to perform the task based only on its training data and the task description included in the prompt. Zero-shot prompting is most likely to be effective when you are seeking simple, direct responses. Zero-shot prompting may not be effective for tasks that require the LLM to respond in a more specific, nuanced way. Few-shot prompting can improve an LLM's performance by providing additional context and examples in your prompt. These additional examples can help clarify the desired format, phrasing, or general pattern. Few-shot prompting can be useful for a range of tasks. For example, you might use few-shot prompting to generate content in a particular style. Let's say you work for an online retailer. You need to write a product description for a new skateboard. You already have descriptions for existing products, such as a bicycle and rollerblades. You want the skateboard description to follow a similar style and format. We'll start with a prompt that begins with some general instructions. Write a one-sentence description of a product. It should contain 2 adjectives that describe the product. We also specify that we want Gemini to review the examples we provide and write the description of the skateboard in the same style. Because this is a few-shot prompt, we need to provide examples that model the style we want. Each example contains a label indicating the product being described, a bicycle and rollerblades. And each description is 1 sentence long and contains 2 adjectives: sleek and durable for the bicycle, and smooth and stylish for the rollerblades. Next, we type the label skateboard. When we add this label and leave the product description blank, we indicate to Gemini that we want it to complete the description of the skateboard like it did with the other 2 product descriptions. Let's review our output. The output offers a product description of the skateboard that meets the criteria we requested and is in the same writing style and format as the examples we included in our prompt. In this case, 2 examples were enough to obtain useful results. But there is no definitive rule for the optimal number of examples to include in a prompt. Some LLMs can accurately reproduce patterns using only a few examples, while other LLMs need more. At the same time, if you include too many examples, an LLM's responses may become less flexible and creative, and they may reproduce the examples too closely. Experiment with the number of examples to include to get the best results for your specific task. Now you know a prompting technique that will help you get better quality output. Few-shot prompting is an effective strategy that can help you guide an LLM to generate more useful responses.
Hi, I'm Rachna. I'm a software engineer at Google. I work on a team called Central Knowledge Management, and we're responsible for making sure that developers have access to all the information that they need. One of the most important things to learn about in AI is prompting, which is just figuring out what text to input to get the response you want. One of the ways to find the most effective prompts for LLMs or large language models is to just iterate rapidly on them and try a wide variety of different prompts out. So maybe if it was not funny enough, the next time you could try prompting the LLM to make it more funny, or if it's too vague, you can use a prompt that specifically asks the AI not to be vague. And trying out a lot of different things this way will usually give you good results. One way you can change how you're using LLMs to allow them to be more creative or be more specific is just based on how much context you put in. So if you want the LLM to give you a pretty creative response, you can just try a very short prompt. If you want it to be very specific, you can put in a lot of examples and then it'll conform more to your examples. Another technique that's really interesting is chain of thought prompting, where you ask the model to reason out its own response. So if you're asking the model to follow a mathematical equation, you can ask it to first break it down into steps and then do the first step and then the second step and so on. And getting the LLM to do multiple steps can sometimes make it much more accurate. One slightly more unexpected prompting technique that we use is asking the model to react to its own responses. So sometimes I'll ask the model for a response and then I'll say, is this response vague? And then if it answers yes, then sometimes I'll throw that response out. So I'll let it do some of my work for me. The more you experiment and the more creative you are, the better. Keeping up with AI can feel a little bit like running on a treadmill sometimes, and it's always getting faster and faster, and there's so many new things that are changing, but I think that's also what makes it really fun.
You've learned a lot about writing prompts that you can apply to workplace tasks. In this section, we discussed large language model, or LLM, output. We examined how LLMs produce their output and potential issues you might encounter in the output. After this, we focused on a key principle of prompt engineering, creating clear and specific prompts. You learned just how important it is to specify what you want the LLM to do and to include supporting context to help it provide better output. We then went on to discover how to improve the quality of AI output through iteration. It's essential that you evaluate your output and then revise your prompt as needed. Lastly, we learned about few-shot prompting, which involves providing examples to guide the LLM. I want to offer a final tip before I go. We focused on prompting large language models. You can use the same general principles when you prompt other kinds of AI models too. For instance, the next time you want to use AI to generate an image, try to be as clear and specific as possible, and then iterate to get closer to the output you want. It's been great guiding you through the process of prompt engineering. I hope you continue to apply and develop these skills as you leverage conversational AI tools in the workplace. To continue learning, I encourage you to explore the topic of using AI responsibly as part of Google AI Essentials.
Make sure that you use AI responsibly, ethically, and for good outcomes. Hello! I'm excited to introduce you to new concepts that will help you learn how to use AI responsibly. Learning to use AI responsibly is a crucial part of experimenting with and using this technology. Responsible AI is the principle of developing and using AI ethically, with the intent of benefiting people and society while avoiding harm. To ensure people are treated fairly and respectfully, AI users must be aware of the limitations of AI tools and commit to using them ethically. An AI user is someone who leverages AI to complete a personal or professional task, like editing copy for a marketing campaign, brainstorming ideas for a nonprofit fundraiser, or discovering more effective ways to use a particular technology. AI can perform many tasks that help make work more productive, efficient, or engaging. But AI, to be clear, is not perfect. Humans are creative, logical, and compassionate. We have critical reasoning abilities and contextual understanding of our environment that AI systems lack. Consider how the autopilot feature functions in an airplane. Autopilot navigates from point A to point B, but the plane still needs a human pilot to make complex decisions. For instance, if weather forces the plane to make an emergency landing, the pilot will be the one to manage that situation and safely land the plane. In this scenario, autopilot is the system and the pilot is the user. Autopilot can handle a lot of the more technical aspects of keeping the plane in the air, but generally, flying the plane safely is the responsibility of the pilot. Similarly, AI tools can help with many basic tasks in the workplace. AI can be used to brainstorm ideas for a new product, outline a press release, suggest questions to ask during a focus group, and much more. But it cannot perform higher-level tasks like giving personalized performance feedback to an employee, or making a judgment about which candidate to hire, or providing therapy to a patient. AI works best when used as a complement to our uniquely human skills and abilities. As a member of the Responsible Innovation team, I use my human abilities to connect with colleagues, motivate teammates, and drive innovation responsibly. My name is Emilio, and I'm going to help you learn about what using AI responsibly means. In this section of the course, you'll learn about the biases that exist in AI models. Then, you'll examine the types of harms that are associated with AI and the importance of pairing the use of AI with human abilities like critical thinking and responsible decision-making. Finally, you'll discover some tips for maintaining privacy and security while experimenting with or using AI tools. Let's get started. AI is an inspiring tool that helps allow for new experiences, opportunities, and achievements. For instance, AI is used to help self-driving cars detect pedestrians on a busy road and predict the presence and severity of a medical condition. However, the fact that AI is beneficial is not a given. As a user who is aware of AI's potential biases and its limitations, you can help ensure responsible outcomes rather than harmful ones. AI models are trained on data created by humans, so they consist of values and are subject to bias. They can also sometimes produce inaccurate results. Because an AI model is trained on a dataset to recognize patterns and perform tasks, the model is only as good as the data it receives. The output from the AI tool may be affected by both systemic bias and data bias. Let's explore each of those now. First, systemic bias is a tendency upheld by institutions that favors or disadvantages certain outcomes or groups. Systemic bias exists within societal systems like healthcare, law, education, politics, and more. Even if the people who design and train an AI model think they're using high-quality data, the data may already be biased because humans are influenced by systemic biases. Data bias is a circumstance in which systemic errors or prejudices lead to unfair or inaccurate information, resulting in biased outputs. Maybe you're developing a work presentation. You ask an AI image generator to create a photo of a CEO. All of the images generated appear to be white males. Based on this result, you might assume that all CEOs are white men. Obviously, this data is biased. Still, the more an AI model is trained with images of white men as CEOs, the more likely these models are to generate similarly biased outputs. Therefore, the more the data represents a wider variety of people, the more inclusive the outcome of the image generation will be. Just as AI models reflect the biases of the data used to train them, they also reflect the values of the people who design them. In other words, AI models are value-laden. For example, Perhaps an AI engineer wants to help create more sustainable ways to generate energy. The engineer could use AI to build a tool that allows energy suppliers to increase their use of renewable resources. In this case, the AI tool was created based on the idea that society can and should make the most of solar and wind power sources, which is a reflection of the engineer's values. This focus means that the AI tool is not intrinsically value neutral. Other people may have different values about energy generation that are not reflected in this particular AI tool. Like most aspects of emerging technology, AI is not a perfect system. At present, it provides both opportunities and challenges, so using it responsibly requires critical thinking and an understanding about how data may be biased. In order to limit biases, drift, and inaccuracies, AI models require humans to take action, like retraining models on more diverse datasets and continuing to fine-tune them frequently. Humans must also consider the inadvertent harms associated with using these AI tools. Let's examine some of the types of harm that AI can cause if used irresponsibly. First is allocative harm. An allocative harm is a wrongdoing that occurs when an AI system's use or behavior withholds opportunities, resources, or information in domains that affect a person's well-being. For example, if AI tools don't provide the same information to everyone, some people may be denied access to education, healthcare, fair housing, or other opportunities. Maybe a property manager for an apartment complex uses an AI tool to screen applications for potential tenants. This AI tool uses the names and other identifying information on these applications to help conduct background checks. One applicant is deemed a risk because of a low credit score, so they are denied the apartment and they lose the application fee. Later, the property manager realizes the software had misidentified the applicant and ran a background check on the wrong person. In this example, the applicant has experienced an allocative harm because they were denied an opportunity and lost resources, both affecting their well-being. Another type of harm AI can cause is quality of service harm. Quality of service harm is a circumstance in which AI tools do not perform as well for certain groups of people based on their identity. When speech recognition technology was first developed, the training data didn't have many examples of speech patterns exhibited by people with disabilities. So the devices often struggled to parse this type of speech. But this technology is still evolving. The next type of harm is representational harm, an AI tool's reinforcement of the subordination of social groups based on their identities. For instance, the AI powering a language translation app might associate certain words with feminine or masculine traits and choose gender-specific translations based on those assumptions. Now, this is harmful because the result may be the erasure or alienation of social groups due to built-in biases. Another type of harm associated with AI is social system harm. This harm refers to macro-level societal effects that amplify existing class, power, or privilege disparities, or cause physical harm as a result of the development or use of AI tools. As AI-generated images become more realistic, there's concern about the spread of disinformation, including deepfakes. Deepfakes are AI-generated fake photos or videos of real people saying or doing things that they did not do. An example of a social system harm might be if a deepfake of a school board candidate showed that person saying something they didn't say. If it went viral, causing them to lose the election, that would impact voters' perspectives, the way parents feel about their school district, and the community in general. Because there would be disinformation being spread on a large scale, this would be a social system harm. Fortunately, new technology is being created to detect deepfakes. Some image-generating tools are putting digital watermarks on AI-generated images and videos to indicate who created them. Over time, deepfakes should become easier for computers to identify. AI users do need to be aware of the difficulty of distinguishing between AI-generated images and real images, and the consequences of creating these deepfakes. Sometimes people can share private information with an AI tool that could be misused by others, like locking someone out of an online account or surveilling them. These are examples of interpersonal harm, which is the use of technology to create a disadvantage to certain people that negatively affects their relationships with others, or causes a loss of one's sense of self and agency. All of these harms are examples of how using technology irresponsibly can negatively impact people and communities. If used without human intervention or critical thinking, AI can reinforce systemic bias, leading to unfair distribution of resources, the perpetuation of dangerous stereotypes, or the reinforcement of ongoing power dynamics. The good news is that AI tools are rapidly evolving based on feedback from users. That's why being aware of potential harm and negative outcomes is a first step to using AI responsibly. Hi, I'm Emilio. I work at Google and I am a Responsible Innovation Program Manager. I get asked all the time, wait, so you were a political science major and a Spanish major and now you work in AI? What do you do? And my best answer is I do everything and nothing. I'm a program manager. I make sure that we get things done on time. I make sure that folks are collaborating well and effectively together. I connect the experts in AI in specific areas of AI like perception, fairness, to product development teams who are looking to incorporate those best practices. I read a really impactful book about the dangers of automating some levels of systemic inequality. And I think that really woke me up to not only the possibilities of AI, because I do consider myself a techno-optimist, but the ramifications of implementing AI without fully teaching folks and understanding for ourselves that implement it, what are the ramifications of these systems? Thinking about your own background and your own upbringing and where you come from and your culture, you have a certain set of experiences that led you to who you are and that serve as foundational to your core values and your core beliefs. Same thing exists for AI. So for instance, I'm from Southern California. I have a bias towards sunshine and perfect waves, right? I think a lot of people do, but I do in particular. Now, those human aspects might not be directly translatable to a machine learning model, but because you can equate experiences to data, machine learning models only can learn based off the data that they've ingested, whether it's through historical data sets or user feedback. If we can make these systems more representative of the users that they purport to serve, I think it will help serve more people. Something that I think about is what is the information that's going into those data sets? Who is being included and who is being excluded? Something I think a lot about is facial detection systems and social media sites. How well do those systems work for folks that look like me, who have more melanin-rich skin, or folks who might have even more melanin-rich skin? And does it work across the spectrum equally? Does it not work across the spectrum equally? I think we all have a personal responsibility when using these tools. I think the two things that you can do are check the outputs of whatever tool you're using, and if you're going to use new data ingested into the model, check the data. Make sure that it's inclusive, make sure that it's representative of the different communities that you hope to interact with. Get involved. Constantly give feedback on things that you don't approve of or that you do approve of, so that the groups that are creating these systems know how to improve. You've learned that it's important to be aware of the possible harms of AI tools. It's equally important to make sure you're equipped with the knowledge to make informed decisions about data, especially when it comes to privacy and security. Privacy is the right for a user to have control over how their personal information and data are collected, stored, and used. A variety of information is used to train AI models, including datasets and user inputs. For example, users might disclose private information during their interactions with an AI tool, and personal information might include names and addresses, medical records and history, and financial and payment information. If you're using an AI tool at your job, you might decide to include specific information about a project, stakeholders, or your clients in an AI prompt to make the output more specific to your task. But using an AI tool in this way can present a security risk. Security is the act of safeguarding personal information and private data, and ensuring that the system is secure by preventing unauthorized access. The majority of IT industry leaders believe generative AI might introduce new security risks, and that before an organization implements generative AI for the first time, the organization should put enhanced security measures in place. As the user, there are measures you can take to help protect your own privacy and security, as well as that of your organization, coworkers, and business partners. First, before you use an AI tool, be aware of its terms of use or service, privacy policy, and any associated risks. Consider how transparent an AI tool is about how it collects data from its users. Trusted AI tools are often built with robust security and privacy teams that have thoroughly considered all kinds of risks and have put effort into communicating those risks to users. Before accepting terms of service for a website or an app, be aware of what data is collected and how it might be used. Next, don't input personal or confidential information. Most AI tools function adequately without specific personal details. So while using AI, keep private information like your identity, your department's budget details, or email address private. Similarly, avoid putting confidential information into an AI tool to prevent the data from becoming available to a third party during a security breach or data leak. To personalize your outputs, you can always edit the details later. Many AI tools use encryption and other measures to help protect your information. But you should always make sure to protect your privacy. Finally, stay up to date on the latest tools. Knowing about new advancements in AI can help you understand risks as they come in. So if you plan on using AI frequently, make sure you're reading the latest articles from trusted news sources, scholarly and university publications, and subject matter experts. When it comes to AI, technology is progressing and changing almost daily. Luckily, security strategies are too. As you've learned, privacy and security are a huge part of using AI responsibly. And knowing how to keep your organization and yourself safe is an integral part of responsible AI.
Hi, I'm Sean. I'm a research scientist at Google Research. I research the fairness and equality of AI, especially for marginalized groups like people with disabilities. The main reason I came to Google was to have impact on the technology that we use and the technology that's coming. My favorite part of this job is working with people, both the people on my team, but also in our research, we get to go out into the community and get feedback about what we can be doing better and how we should be thinking about the future of AI and how it's going to affect people. You know, if you think about how different people might engage with an AI system, one thing that you might consider is people will ask questions. What is life like for someone with a disability? What kinds of things do people with disabilities enjoy? And it's not clear what the right answer is to that kind of question. What should you say? And I think one of the things we want to avoid is to say, oh, that's a sensitive topic, so we can't answer that. From my perspective, that means we've lost, because now we're missing out on opportunities to teach people and to be helpful to people. We want systems that work for everybody. You know, AI has to be for everybody. AI bias is a huge problem, and we have to solve it in many different ways, from data to algorithms to user interface. One way to address bias and harmful content is to make sure that our data sets are appropriate and are representative of a wide variety of people. A lot of the work that our team is doing is in helping to define guidelines for collecting data and to make sure that we have data that's representative of a wide variety of people, a wide variety of experiences, and a wide variety of perspectives. One way to keep on top of these issues is through having systems that are transparent. So being able to understand how AI systems work, what data they draw on, how they come to provide certain kinds of feedback. I think a huge part of learning to use AI is also applying critical thinking and not just taking the first answer you get, but really trying to understand why a particular answer came about. Right? I think about AI systems not as a tool to give you answers, but to help you get to answers. I use AI in my home life also. We, a couple weeks ago, used AI to help come up with a name for our pet. And so that was really helpful just as a muse and as a way to like generate some ideas and have a little bit of fun. Dr. Bones is the name of my cat. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Vint, Vice President and Chief Internet Evangelist at Google. Some people think of me as famous. I don't. I think of me as lucky. I had the good fortune of being one of the people who started the design of the internet in 1973. And since that time, my entire career has been strongly related to internet and its evolution. So people ask me, what is a chief internet evangelist and why does the internet need an evangelist at all? And the answer to that is that only about 2/3 of the world's population are actually online and able to access all the treasures and riches of the internet. And so the chief internet evangelist is still running around the world encouraging people to build more internet so everyone can have access. I've been around in the AI space for almost all of its existence because the notion of artificial intelligence goes all the way back to the 1960s. So let's talk a little bit about the way in which AI can be used in crisis situations like wildfires and things like that. In 9 different countries, Google's services are being used, the SOS alerts, to detect and to alert geographically about wildfires. So we're starting to see raw material going into the artificial intelligence algorithms to help us anticipate what a fire is going to do. And that will help the forest fire response and will certainly help get people out of buildings if they are in fact at risk. Another example comes from one of our sister organizations, DeepMind, which trained a machine learning system to learn how to fold proteins that are generated by the interpretation of DNA. And the reason that's so important is that those molecules may turn out to be the key to solving various kinds of genetic diseases. I mean, I get really excited about stuff like that. AI literacy is really about not the absolute details, exactly how does this work. Not everyone needs to know how a car is constructed to use it. We want people to have a conscious sense of both the power and peril of artificial intelligence. I think in the long run, as we learn how to use these techniques better and better and more reliably, that it will have a dramatic impact on almost all walks of life. It will enhance our ability to do research. Every student might have a personal tutor, in effect. Creative people who are trying to create text and film and video and imagery will have a palette and a tool far more capable than a paintbrush in order to invent and create. And so in the same way that the World Wide Web has turned out to be such a huge platform for creativity and innovation, I think the AI world will induce a similar kind of effect.
Congratulations! You're almost done with this section of the course. You've discovered how responsible AI helps mitigate bias and avoid societal harms. Let's review some of those key points. First, you explored how systemic and data biases are reflected in AI models. Training or developing models with incomplete, outdated, or inaccurate data increases bias in AI systems. You examined the types of harms that are associated with AI, especially if AI tools are not paired with human abilities like critical thinking and responsible decision-making. Finally, you gained some tips for maintaining privacy and security when using AI. The best way to commit to using AI responsibly is to be vigilant about the risks of AI while enjoying its benefits. Think critically about how you use AI and the output you receive from AI tools. Share your awareness of potential biases with others. Staying up to date with the latest AI developments is also very important. AI tools are changing the world rapidly, but with new technology also comes risk. Understanding potential harms will help you consider learning how to use these tools responsibly. It's been great introducing you to the responsible use of AI. To continue learning, I encourage you to stay up to date on AI developments as part of Google AI Essentials.
Part of staying knowledgeable involves learning about innovative uses of AI. One thing that excites me is how AI continues to develop in new ways. This means there's always more to learn, more tools, more examples of how people have integrated AI into their work, more guidelines on how to use AI responsibly, and even new types of models. Staying informed about new developments in AI can empower you to use it more effectively. My name is Sharbani, and I'm a senior director in the core machine learning group at Google. That means the teams I work with build the infrastructure and tooling that helps you build and produce amazing AI innovations faster and easier. I'm excited to help you learn more about how to stay current with developments in AI. First, you'll learn how to evaluate new AI tools. You'll explore inspiring AI innovations and consider how others have integrated AI in their fields. Lastly, you'll identify opportunities to leverage AI in the workplace. I hope you're excited to continue this journey and explore strategies to stay up to date with AI as it advances into the future. Let's begin. To start innovating with AI, consider what tasks you need to accomplish. For example, think about what slows down your work. Then think about how incorporating AI into your workflow may help you meet your needs. For inspiration, let's discuss some innovative types of AI models and explore their possibilities. MedPalm is a large language model that is designed to answer medical questions. It was built based on Google's existing LLM Palm, but it was adapted for answering medical questions through training with clinicians. The MedPalm model is exciting because it demonstrates the potential for a model that already exists, like Palm, to be specialized through training with experts in the field. Consider how workers in the healthcare industry may leverage this model and how other industries might use their own specialized models. Some machine learning and AI tools analyze just one modality or form of data in their input. A multimodal model is an AI model that can accept and learn from multiple types of input, such as images, video, or audio. AI tools that incorporate multimodal models can perform additional tasks beyond what a model that analyzes just one type of data can do. MedPalm has a multimodal version called MedPalm M. As a multimodal model, MedPalm M can do more than answer text-based medical questions. It can interpret several types of biomedical data, including language, medical imaging, and genomic data. This expands the model's potential for use in the medical field. Let's consider the following scenario. You're attending a presentation. There's a large audience and everyone is so interested in every word the speaker has to say. Observing the speaker might inspire you. Even if you don't have the expertise to speak on the same topic, you might adopt some of the techniques the speaker uses. Likewise, you can find inspiration in how others use AI. AI is used innovatively across multiple industries. And more, humans are applying AI to create solutions to complex problems. Robotics is another industry where AI is frequently used in novel ways. The startup company RefiBird is applying AI to sensor technology to help reduce textile waste. RefiBird developed an AI system that uses sensors to identify and organize different textiles in recycling plants based on their materials. This helps reduce the amount of waste in recycling plants. Textiles made from certain materials can be sent to facilities that can process them. You can apply ideas from this example to your own work. Even if you don't have a robot or need to sort physical objects in your work, you might be inspired to use AI for sorting in another way. For instance, you might use AI to organize workplace tasks. Are there other kinds of sorting or organizational tasks AI could help you with? There are so many ways humans use AI to address questions and improve the lives of others. I encourage you to keep exploring how you too can augment your work with AI.
I'm Greg. I'm a research scientist at Google, and that means that I try to build technologies and develop new ways to make machines intelligent. So when I was a kid, I watched a lot of TV, mostly kind of nerdy educational programs like Nova and things like that. And I became fascinated with physics and how the universe worked. And despite the fact that this wasn't the sort of thing that most people in my family did, I became convinced that I wanted to go to a university and study physics. In the process of my education, I learned that the thing in the world that I was most interested in understanding was actually the brain. and human cognition. And so I went to graduate school in neuroscience. I met folks who were exploring not just how the brain worked, but how the brain could teach us to build machines that were more intelligent. And I came to Google to follow those ideas, to understand whether there were ideas from biology and neuroscience that could help us build machines that were smarter. The shift from machines that only understand exactly what they're explicitly told to machines that can actually learn from experience or data or mistakes has been nothing less than transformational. Seeing how other people use a piece of technology, use a tool, whether it's AI or something else, gives you new ideas about how you might use that tool, right? It's almost like watching cooking shows. You don't have to make the same thing that the chef makes on the show to learn something about how you could use this tool differently. I really encourage people to be educated about how the technology is useful, because there may be something that's similar problem, even if it comes from a different field or a different industry. I think that the approach to using AI in a new way for an application or technology is actually relatively simple, which is that you should start with play. Start with trying to play with a toy version of the problem and a toy solution, and see if you can make it work in a simplified environment or at a small scale that gives you confidence that you can try something bigger. Try it not for composing an entire orchestral piece. Try it for just completing a melody or a phrase. But if there's any advice at all, it's to try to appreciate the opportunity as broadly as you can and be willing to try things again. And so there's really an opportunity to be someone who makes a discovery about how to use a tool well, how to get a new effect with the technology, how to use it for a new purpose. So whether you're building AI or discovering ways to use it, the opportunity for innovation and creativity is in your hands, not anyone else's.
Hi, I'm Timothy, a director of developer relations at Google. For the last 14 years, I've been helping developers and Google work better together. I've recently been working a lot more with Gen AI to do things like technical writing and generating code. I've also been helping more developers integrate Gen AI into their apps. Prompting is a new skill that a lot of us are learning and trying to get better at, myself included. Now, my first experience using Gen AI that was transformative was for a pretty simple task. I needed to quickly collect everyone's availability for an important team meeting. I asked over chat, and everyone responded in a different format, as people are likely to do, and it was a lot to track. But with the help of Gen AI, I was able to organize everyone's availability into a table and then transposed it so the table was sorted by date, not by chat message. A task that would have taken forever manually only took me a few minutes with Gen AI. And that was my breakthrough moment, using Gen AI in my everyday tasks to turn things that used to be a headache into something simple and easy. And that's what this course is about, using Gen AI to help you get your job done. So what is prompting anyway? Put simply, prompting is the process of providing specific instructions to a Gen AI tool to receive new information or to achieve a desired outcome on a task. Those instructions are called prompts. When we write a prompt for a Gen AI tool, we're giving it a series of inputs and telling it what we would like it to generate. Some Gen AI tools can generate text or images, while others generate video, audio, or even code. Prompting is both an art and a science. To get the best results, we need to be precise in defining what we need. Now, this is similar to the way you would help your teammate get started on a new project. Providing context and setting parameters will get you the best output from Gen AI. The first thing you'll learn is the prompting framework. It's a formula for writing great prompts. You'll use this framework throughout the course. And after that, it's all about putting prompts to use on specific tasks that can save you time in your job. You'll use Gen AI to brainstorm ideas, develop plans, and draft emails for different audiences. We'll teach you how to summarize meeting notes, assign action items, and more. We'll also teach you how to analyze data and spreadsheets with Gen AI. You'll write prompts that can help you find insights buried in data. You'll then use GenAI to turn those insights into visuals and eventually turn it all into a slide deck with talking points for a presentation. Next, you'll learn advanced prompting techniques to help you untangle complex tasks. For example, you'll learn how to create prompts that can help make long-term complicated projects easier to plan and execute. You'll also learn how to design a prompt to create your own personalized AI agent to do things like practice before an interview or prepare for difficult work conversations. And finally, you'll learn how to use GenAI responsibly, including guidelines for using it in your job and on your team. This is crucial. GenAI tools help you with the work that you do, but they don't do it for you. Anyone using GenAI should always be evaluating and fact-checking outputs. There are a lot of GenAI tools out there and in this course. We're going to demonstrate how to prompt using Gemini and other Google AI tools like Gemini for Google Workspace and Google AI Studio. But all of the techniques and best practices you'll learn in this course can be applied to other GenAI tools like ChatGPT, Copilot, or Claude. Last thing, we designed this course to give you skills that you can use at work right away. So all of these lessons and techniques you're going to learn are rooted in real-world scenarios. You should experiment and play around to figure out what works best for you. And as you go through this course, feel free to pause the video and test what you just learned with something you're working on right now. Now let's get started with our first prompts. In this lesson, you're going to learn how to create effective prompts. A good prompt follows a simple framework: task, context, references, evaluate, and iterate. If you ever forget a step, just remember, thoughtfully create really excellent inputs. First is task. You need to describe the task you want the generative AI tool to help you with. Now, this should include a persona and a format preference so that the task is specific. Persona refers to what expertise you want the Gen AI tool to draw from. You can ask the tool to take on a persona like a professional speechwriter or a marketing executive with 15 years of experience. Or you can ask it to create output for a specific audience, a customer, or even your manager. You can be as detailed as you'd like when adding a persona to your task. Format refers to how you want the output to appear, whether that's a bulleted list, short sentences, or a table. So there you have it, task. Next, you'll include context, or the necessary details to help the Gen AI tool understand what you need from it. This is the difference between writing, "Give me some ideas for a birthday present under $30, and "Give me 5 ideas for a birthday present. My budget is $30. The gift is for a 29-year-old who loves winter sports and has recently switched from snowboarding to skiing." Sometimes you'll add references for the Gen AI tool to use while creating its output. You just asked a Gen AI tool to give you ideas for a birthday present, right? Well, if you add examples of birthday presents you've given in the past as references, the Gen AI tool can give you a more useful output. There aren't always going to be clear references of what you need, especially if you're working on something more abstract or searching for ideas and inspiration. Once you have your output, it's time to evaluate. Ask yourself if the input you provided gave you the output you needed. This leads us to the final part of the framework, iterate. If you evaluate your output and determine that you're not getting what you need, you can try again by adding more information or tweaking your prompt. And this is a key part of prompting effectively, and we'll explore it in depth later on in the course. One more note on the framework. There are plenty of ways to construct an effective prompt. The order of how you construct a prompt is less important than the substance of the prompt itself. As long as you're thoughtfully creating really excellent inputs, your outputs should be great.
I'm excited to be here with Laura, Productivity Advisor at Google. So I'm curious, do you have any tips, any prompting tips that you would give to our learners on how to get the best out of these systems, things that you tend to go to often?
Just the more context you give, the better answers you get and the better results. And, also continuing to iterate once it comes back, thinking of it as an ongoing conversation. I like to include things like the persona, saying, I'm looking for a marketing plan. Start by saying, imagine you're a world-class marketer and you're marketing for this budget and this timeline and really providing a starting point. So maybe this is what you've done before. This is the company's values. And so just the more that you can give it, you start to realize, wow, I'm getting a lot out of it this way.
That's right. You can even upload, your team's mission statement and all of that context and give that as part of the prompt as well.
Yeah, I really like the idea that you don't have to start from scratch at the prompt page. So maybe you have a project plan that you really like, but you're wanting to better it.
Yep.
You can upload that project plan and say, here's what I've been using for 2 years.
Yep.
What are some ways that I could do more?
Yep.
And that's a great place for it to start.
Help me expand this in a certain direction. Help me
Exactly.
change course.
The possibilities of AI are inspiring, and I hope you continue to find ways to apply AI to your work. In this section of the course, we explored how you can continue to grow your understanding of AI. First, we went over how to discover and evaluate new tools. Next, we covered how to find inspiration from AI innovations. We explored inventive AI models and discovered some of the creative ways AI is already being incorporated into certain fields of work. Finally, we identified opportunities to leverage AI in the workplace, and we reflected on how an understanding of AI can benefit you. Great work! I enjoyed guiding you through an exploration of AI and the future. Congratulations on completing this course. It's great that you've taken the time to learn about AI and the possibilities for incorporating it into your work. We explored so many different concepts related to AI. First, we explored the basics of AI. We covered some foundational AI concepts, such as what AI is and how it works. And we discussed the capabilities and limitations of AI in the workplace. Next, we discussed ways to apply AI to work tasks. We covered the basics of an AI model and how it's trained on large amounts of data to accomplish a wide variety of tasks. And we discussed a variety of common applications for AI tools. Then, we explored how to help increase productivity, optimize workflow, and solve problems in the workplace with AI tools. And we covered the importance of human involvement and judgment when using AI tools in your work, including practicing personal responsibility with any AI-augmented task. After that, we went over how to write effective prompts. We examined how large language models produce output. We also discussed how writing clear and specific prompts is an important part of prompt engineering, as well as how to analyze output and revise prompts as necessary. Then, we talked about how to use AI responsibly. We covered common risks and unfair biases that are inherent to AI tools and how to mitigate them. We also went over potential social harms and security repercussions of using AI in the workplace. Finally, we learned some strategies for staying current with AI. We explored how to evaluate AI tools for the workplace and took inspiration from how others are innovating with AI in different industries. We also identified ways to leverage AI in the workplace. Where you go next is up to you. You might schedule a regular networking chat with others in your industry to learn about the latest advancements in AI. You can advocate for responsible AI practices at your company. Maybe you focus more closely on certain aspects of AI, such as how to best integrate multimodal models or the latest research techniques for engineering prompts. Or you might start leveraging AI in your day-to-day work using tools introduced in this course or new AI tools that you identify. No matter what your next step is, I'm proud of you for taking this course and learning more about AI.